Well, tomorrow, the 47th President of the United States will be decided. Well, maybe. The result is likely to be on a knife's edge, with some states expected to be too close to call. And for those Americans who don't want either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump in office, there is a third option. Literally anybody else.
For those who think he's a hero, this moment only made Donald Trump more heroic.
Take a look at what happened.
The world witnessed an attempted hit on the former president, inciting a campaign catch cry that will go down in history.
I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight."
The people of Delaware have waited 5 days. Joe Biden has waited decades.
4 years on from Donald Trump's election defeat, what we thought would be a rematch has shaped up to a very different contest.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in.
I don't really laugh like that, do I?
Either Kamala Harris becomes America's first female president, or Donald Trump does another term. Or
my name is literally anybody else, and I'm running for president of the United States.
The Texan school teacher's name used to be Dustin Eby before legally changing it to launch his political career.
People have already voted for me. People have been calling me and messaging me saying, "I just left early voting and I wrote your name in."
Mr. Else says plenty of fellow Americans are unhappy with their candidates. He's just doing something about it.
The most common people I run into are people who say, like, "I'm just not going to vote anymore because what's the point?" We're stuck between somebody who's overtly declaring he's going to be a fascist or someone who can't even form a coherent sentence unless they have a teleprompter.
So hypothetically, if you won the popular vote in one particular state of America just by write-in votes, that counts?
That counts. And it's interestingly enough, if I win one state and it's enough to deny Trump or Harris the 270 electoral votes needed to take the White House, I could theoretically win.
So what is it about these two that's got people considering literally anybody else?
Her habit is to kind of go to word salad city.
You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
Kamala's campaign has given abortion rights a lot of airtime. It's the issue that could send even female Republican voters her way.
Fighting for the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body.
And to all Americans, her message has long been, "I'm just like you."
Unlike him, I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood with a working mother who kept a strict budget.
But Mr. Else doesn't buy it.
She doesn't have the mental capacity to maintain a leadership position for longer than 2 weeks.
Tell me what you think of Donald Trump.
He is someone who prioritizes loyalty above all else. If you want to make just an inept sandwich, just put those two together. They're the bread, and America becomes the unfortunate meat.
This, 9 days out from the election, was next level.
Today, this is Donald Trump's house, brother.
Republicans packed into New York's Madison Square Garden, Hulk Hogan joining the spectacle, and the world's richest man endorsing Donald Trump.
We're not getting people who are like set up outside actively picketing or protesting against President Trump. And in 2020, that was often the case.
Blake Marnell, or Brickman as he's known, has been on the road at rally after rally since September, meeting Elon Musk at one of his first public appearances for Trump and getting regular shout-outs from the man himself.
Look, Mr. Wall over here is the greatest guy. I want to buy one of those suits.
He's doing very well in early voting, which is a tactic that he did not employ in the last election.
Feeling the pressure, the Democratic campaign has rolled out the star power.
All the way down to most cities.
I think it's more optics than it is actual movement of voters But I think optics matter. She should be selling herself and what she brings. If that message is simply, I'm not Trump, it's not a persuasive argument.
Professor of American Politics Tim Lynch from Melbourne University.
I have some memory of everyone since Jimmy Carter. I've never experienced one that's been this close.
What do you think is the single biggest issue American voters worry about now?
The economics, the ability to buy a house, to put groceries on the table. I mean, me and my wife were both full-time educators, both full-time teachers. We still couldn't buy our own home.
It's an issue the former president is going hard on.
When I left office, it changed. Inflation destroyed the lives of so many people.
And it wouldn't be a Trump campaign without zeroing in on immigration. Just days out, releasing attack ads like this one in key states.
Both men were in the country illegally.
Unchecked immigration into our country in the last 4 years has been really kind of a disaster. She's trying to turn that around.
And as president, I will do everything in my power to end the war in Gaza.
In the final stretch, Harris hopped from state to state, visiting every key battleground in the week before America decides. So too Trump, who may have 18 years on Kamala, but is as energetic and confident as ever.
Together we will fight, 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 and win, win, win.
The base will turn out for him anyway. His job was to try and get those in the middle.
And in her closing argument speech from Washington, D.C., Trump's contender reminded America of the horror that unfolded there when he was at the helm.
We know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol.
A vice president versus a former president.
We are optimistic.
Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here. You're fired.